What up? It's your boy T-Burn on Reaction. Today's Films Friday. We're not even the second half of Films Friday. We just did the kill count. And that is some stuff related movies, well, too. And we kick off with the recent release Best Year Movie History from Weird History. And the timeline is the year your tree was born. Yes, I'm showing my age. That is 1984. Other than me being born, a lot of cool all animated movies has came on in 1984. One of the top one of them all is Ghostbusters as well too, and many others as well too. We had the rise of the Rat Pack, and many others as well too. So we want to take a look at a lot of movies things that happened in '84, including movies. Well, let's get it.
Read. What? Have you or any of your family ever seen a spook, specter, or ghost?
If the answer is yes, then don't wait another minute. Pick up your phone and call the professionals.
Ghostbusters!
George Orwell predicted 1984 would be a totalitarian nightmare. But had he known how many iconic movies were going to be released that year, we suspect he might have changed his tune. After all, it is the year the Muppets took Manhattan. Tom Hanks went on a date with a
So that's how the Muppets came about on the Manhattan movie.
mermaid, and the Star Trek crew searched for Spock.
Jim, help me.
And you ain't seen nothing yet. Of course, that was just because they hadn't yet heard of Peter Venkman, Daniel LaRusso, Joan Wilder, and Axel
Oh
Foley.
yeah, and Violet Kills Cop. Jesus, a lot of cool movies came out.
We're taking you through all of the best movie-related news and events of the 1980s.
Footloose.
This is Timeline Movies.
What a year!
We're cranking it up to 11 because this one is all about 1984.
Supergirl.
But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History channel
Nice.
and let us know in the comments below about your favorite movie memories from 1984. Now,
R.I.P. Robert Redford, we recently lost.
are you ready to find out what was going on in movies the year Apple released the first Mac?
I got nothing but time.
The U.S. Supreme Court kicked things off on January 17th by ruling that videotaping a program off television for the purpose of watching it later was protected by the Fair Use Doctrine.
I don't think
Really?
people ever
So back then, stuff we do later on down the line didn't come an actual thing was illegal at the time. Ooh.
thought that we'd be in a situation where someone would actually police home taping or come in and say, well, these video recorders are now illegal and now they ought to be taken off the market or out of your homes.
The decision also held that manufacturers of such devices weren't liable for contributory infringement, which means they were in the clear if someone used their product to violate copyright law. The decision paved the way for an explosion of VCR sales and changed home movie culture forever. By the 1980s, Disney's brand was something of a double-edged sword.
Oh, so Touchstone released that. Okay. Touchstone released later on. Okay.
Audiences knew they could trust the studio when it came to entertaining kids, but the interest of teens and adults was waning. So on February 15th, the House of Mouse launched Touchstone Pictures, a new brand they would use to release more mature films. Touchstone's first release would be the wildly successful Tom Hanks vehicle, Splash, which dropped the following month.
All my life, I've been waiting for someone. When I find her, she's a fish. Nobody said love's perfect.
I heard a band.
Oh,
that
yeah.
For me,
And it's coming back
redefined the
out.
word rock and roll. That band was Britain's now legendary Spinal Tap.
On March 2nd, director Rob Reiner released the mockumentary This is Spinal Tap. The film, which starred Christopher Guest, Michael McKean, and Harry Shearer as a fictional heavy metal band, was a largely improvised parody of rock and roll documentaries like 1978's The Last Waltz.
And I think that the problem may have been that there was a Stonehenge monument on the stage that was in danger of being crushed by a dwarf.
I think you're just making a much too big a thing out of it.
Making a big thing out of it would have been a good idea.
It was embraced by critics, but still struggled at the box office. Nonetheless, it came to be regarded as a cult classic and is credited with popularizing the mockumentary format.
He exploded on stage. Dozens of people spontaneously combust each year.
After more than 4 decades, Spinal Tap returned to theaters with Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues. The movie follows the band's return for a mandatory reunion, along with Rob Reiner reprising his role as director Martin "Marty" DeBerge. Though now in their 70s, the members haven't grown emotionally and musically. Same old tap.
Tap water.
It says artisan.
It's just tap water. It's tap water.
Then, on March 5th, actor and 3-time Academy Award nominee William Powell died of pneumonia. Powell starred in hits like 1934's My Man Godfrey and 1947's Life with Father. But today he is best remembered for his on-screen chemistry with actress Myrna Loy, with whom he played the now iconic screen couple Nick and Nora Charles in 1934's The Thin Man, as well as its 5 sequels. Powell was 91. And on March 11th, the animated fantasy film Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind was released in Japan. The post-apocalyptic story of a teenage princess fighting a powerful empire, the film was the second feature directed by Hayao Miyazaki. It wasn't actually a Studio Ghibli movie, but Nausicaa is now often grouped with that studio's output due to Miyazaki's involvement and its role in laying the groundwork for Ghibli's success.
And all early anime. Oh yeah, this soon.
Jones. Larville Jones.
What are you in for?
I'll show you.
Here we go.
God damn it, stop that!
Police Academy was about a city that passed a law forcing the titular institution to accept everyone who chose to apply, resulting in a class of misfits that seemed largely unqualified to work in law enforcement.
Who's next?
Catch me!
Despite some fairly harsh reviews, the film, which hit theaters on March 23rd, was a surprise hit, making a star of leading man Steve Guttenberg and 2 TV series, and launching a franchise that would come to include 6 sequels.
Someone call a veterinarian!
My personal life has been exactly like this year's Academy Awards. Started off with terms of endearment. I thought I had the right stuff. It cost a lot to dress her, then came the big chill. In the past month, I've been begging for tender mercies.
April 8th brought the 56th Academy Awards. Winners on the night included Best Supporting Actress Linda Hunt for The Year of Living Dangerously, and Best Actor Robert Duvall for Tender Mercies. But the big winner was
Terms of Endearment,
which won Best Supporting Actor for Jack Nicholson, Best Actress for Shirley MacLaine.
I'm going to cry because this show has been as long as my career.
Best Director for James L. Brooks, and Best Picture.
You don't have anything else to say to me?
Here we go.
What would you like me to say, Sam? I can't believe this. They forgot my birthday.
John Hughes kicked off the summer movie season 1 month later on May 4th with the release of his directorial debut, 16 Candles.
What's happening, hot stuff?
The film about an unpopular teenage girl who just wants to be kissed by her crush on her 16th birthday made stars out of Molly Ringwald and Anthony Michael Hall, and would transform Hughes into the king of 80s teen dramedies.
I wanted to make a very realistic movie about what it's truly like to be 16.
R.P. John.
We laugh at a lot of the problems that she has because generally you've been through the same thing.
The most anticipated movie of 1984 was Indiana Jones.
And one of my favorite horror franchises was born this year too. Hope they mentioned that.
And The Temple of Doom, released May 23rd.
I think we went darker than any of us really wanted to go. You do a light thing and you do another little dark thing, and pretty soon you put together and you realize, uh-oh, it's darker than it is light. We definitely wanted to make a different movie from Raiders. We didn't want to just do the same movie over again.
The sequel to Raiders of the Lost Ark was a prequel that found Indy teaming up with a nightclub singer named Willie Scott and a young boy called Short Round.
Yep, here you go.
Step on it.
Okie dokie, Dr. Jones.
Shout out to this man who almost damn near 10 years, literally 10 years later, obtained his first ever Oscar.
Hold on to your potato.
To return a sacred relic to the Indian villagers from which it was stolen. Despite mixed reviews, the unusually dark film was a massive hit.
Oh, it was great, especially the scene where he was riding the mine cart. It's just like Six Flags are going along, and you were riding right with him.
Temple of Doom's Short Round was played by child actor Ke Huy Quan, who would also appear in The Goonies.
He's just an explosive child. I've never really met anybody his age quite like him, especially from his background.
They acknowledge it. I think they're going to acknowledge it.
Being one of the boat people.
Tell us, how did you like acting?
I love acting. It's very interesting, and I like to see the things that I never seen it before. You get to ride on an elephant, riding on a raft, all kinds of stuff.
But after those blockbusters, he largely vanished from the pop culture stage. That would change, however, on March 25th, 2022, when Everything Everywhere All at Once hit theaters. The multiverse-spanning action/comedy would win 7 Academy Awards from 11 nominations, including Best Picture and Best Supporting Actor for Kwan.
That was a moment right there. You cannot blame and I forgot her name, Annette. Oh, what was the girl from West Side Story? You cannot, even though she grew up on but you cannot I'm sorry, West Side Story, the new one. What's her name again for the new West Side Story? Ariana DeBose. You cannot blame her for getting emotional when she opened that. I don't know, and that's announced. It was still like it makes you want to frown up or even tear up yourself when she had that emotional announcement of him winning.
You call him Dr. Jones! Yes!
Perhaps the greatest comedy motion picture of all time.
Oh my God, yeah, a lot came out in my year I was born. Yes, because I got glimpse of another thing we got to talk about too, but this the one. Yes,
is going to make E.T. look like Raiders of the Lost Ark.
And on June 8th, the supernatural comedy Ghostbusters landed in theaters.
Get her!
Directed by Ivan Reitman and starring
R.I.P.
Sigourney Weaver, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, and Ernie Hudson.
If there's a steady paycheck in it, I'll believe anything you say.
The film told the story of 3 scientists who open up a ghost-catching business in New York City.
You're never gonna regret this, Ray.
And it's like it's just casting wise, it was like a cross of SNL and their Canadian counterpart CTV as well too, with Bill and Bill and Dan for SNL and Harold Ramis and Rick Moranis. I think Harold Ramis was from CTV. Let me see. R.I.P. to him, by the way. I could be wrong, but still. Well, he's SCTV, yes, and he's SCTV as well too. Yup, he was it was SNL with these two and SCTV with Harold Ramis and Rick Moranis as well too. So yup.
My parents left me that house. I was born there.
Acclaimed by critics and embraced by audiences, the infinitely quotable movie would finish as the second highest grossing film of the year.
He slimed me.
We got one!
Are you the key master?
Okay, who brought the dog?
I collect spores, molds, and fungus.
It just popped in there.
I have seen that'll turn you white.
And make a hit out of its theme song, which taught the whole world to shout
Ghostbusters
whenever someone asks,
"Who you gonna call?"
I'm out of here.
Yup, Gremlins. Gremlins.
It's better for summer because in summer everybody's hot and sweltering and they'd love to go see a picture that happens on Christmas. You're not buying that, huh?
You're the director.
The very same day saw the release of the horror comedy Gremlins, which found Zach Galligan's Billy Peltzer receiving an unusual Christmas gift, a Mogwai named Gizmo, who came with the voice of Howie Mandel, and a set of rules that had to be obeyed to avert disaster.
It's crazy that's Howie Mandel.
Keep him away from water. And probably the most important thing, don't ever feed him after midnight.
That disaster turned out to be the titular monsters, who terrorized Billy's idyllic town on Christmas Eve. A massive hit, Gremlins would receive a sequel in 1990 and an animated series called Secrets of the Mogwai in 2023. The Karate Kid, released June 22nd, was the story of Daniel LaRusso, a New Jersey teen who moves to Los Angeles, only to find himself being bullied by a gang of high school karate champions.
All you want to hear is how great it is out here. Well, it may be great for you, but it sucks for me. I hate this place. I hate it. I just want to go home.
Thanks, however, to the help of handyman Mr. Miyagi, played by Pat Morita.
And look, I always look alive.
Daniel learns karate and faces off those bullies in a local tournament.
Fish out of water, coming of age, mentor student, those are themes and elements of the film that were strong in the script and strong when we were making it and still resonate today.
The wildly successful film spawned 3 sequels, an animated cartoon, a television series, and a reboot franchise that eventually crossed over with the original franchise.
Sensei LaRusso.
Han Shifu.
The unusually dark stories and graphic violence of
Oh yeah, I always wondered about how PG-13 was. I figured that PG-13 was created late because if you see a lot of like early PG videos, it was definitely had some PG-13 undertone with, especially with the foul language and all that. So definitely though, I'm trying to get to my ring. I thought I heard something, so that's why I made sure nobody try and get it or anything like that. Let me double check real quick. So here, so sorry about the noise real quick. I want to make sure. Okay, it's probably next door. Also sound bang. Let's keep going.
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom and Gremlins raised more than a few eyebrows from parents. In response, Steven Spielberg, who directed the former movie and executive produced the latter, suggested that the Motion Picture Association of America create a new rating to signal a film wasn't appropriate for all children, but was acceptable for some.
I called Jack Valenti, the head of the Motion Picture Association of America, and said, can't there be an in-between rating? And I actually said it could be like PG-14 or PG-13. And he said, let me get back to you. And the next thing I heard, Jack Valenti was able to institute for the first time in many decades a brand new rating.
That rating would be called PG-13, and it was announced to the public on July 1st. Released in the U.S. on July 20th,
Hold on. I don't know what's freezing. Give me a minute. I'm back. Let's keep going.
He was able to institute for the first time in many decades a brand new rating.
That rating would be called PG-13, and it was announced to the public on July 1st. Released in the U.S. on July 20th, The Never-Ending Story follows the story of a young boy who finds a magic book about a warrior from a land called Fantasia that has to fight off a mysterious monster called the Nothing.
Don't you know anything about Fantasia? It's the world of human fantasy.
The Wolfgang Peterson directed adaptation of the 1979 novel of the same name was met by positive reviews and cleaned up at the box office, eventually spawning 2 sequels and making kids everywhere wish they had a
They had Jack Black in one of the sequels. Wow.
So soon.
And on July 27th, rock star Prince made the jump to the silver screen in Purple Rain. The story of an up-and-coming musician from Minneapolis. It was met by mostly positive reviews.
Oh, yes.
And performed well at the box office.
In the movie, he mistreats you. Now, is there any of that to the real person?
No. I didn't write Purple Rain. Someone else did. And it was a story, a fictional story, and it should be perceived that way.
Prince would go on to make 5 more movies. Purple Rain's soundtrack, which contains some all-time bangers like Let's Go Crazy, When...
Only movie I know of was Undertaker movie in the Graffiti Bridge. What other movies he did? Hold on. All right.
Doves Cry,
Unless
and the
they count
title track
Batman,
would go on to win Best Original Score at the 57th Academy Awards. The first PG-13 film hit theaters just over a month after the MPAA created the new rating. That film was the action thriller Red Dawn.
Wolverines!
Starring Patrick Swayze, Charlie Sheen, C. Thomas Howell, Leah Thompson, and Jennifer Grey, and it depicted a Soviet invasion of the U.S. The movie carried the new rating on account of its violence, but nonetheless garnered mostly positive reviews, performed well at the box office, and left a deep pop culture footprint.
Not bad for a bunch of kids, huh? Mama'd be real proud.
The Adventures of Andre and Wally B was an animated short that debuted at the Toronto International Animation Festival on August 17th. Produced by John Lasseter of the Lucasfilm Computer Graphics.
I think I heard this is this is like the precursor to Pixar.
Project, which later became Pixar.
Yep.
The film depicted a brief.
I came across this on when Disney Plus first came out, and this was in the same little thing as that.
Confrontation between the titular characters, a man and a bumblebee. It doesn't sound like much, but it was the first fully computer animated short film in history.
I'm never going to know what Eben Osby or Bill Reeves or Ed Catmull knows because they're PhDs. They can't bring something to life through pure movement and give it personality. I'm just going to sit right next to them and work in collaboration.
The Adventures of Andre and Wally B would later be released into theaters with the world's first fully computer animated feature, Toy Story.
Nice.
When Paramount Chairman and Chief Executive Officer Barry Diller departed the company in 1984, it was widely assumed that his protege, Michael Eisner, would step into his shoes. But when that didn't happen, Eisner left the company in protest and landed himself an even bigger job, CEO of Disney.
Wow.
It was under Eisner's leadership that Disney made The Little Mermaid, kicking off its second golden age of animation and revitalizing the company as a cultural force.
Good job.
Nonetheless, a string of failures in the early 2000s would result in him leaving the position in 2005. And on October 12th, Joel and Ethan Coen, more famously known as the Coen brothers, released their first movie, the neo-noir crime thriller Blood Simple.
I love you too.
You're just saying that because you're scared.
The story of a bartender who is targeted for murder by the husband of the woman he's having an affair with. Blood Simple starred Frances McDormand and John Getz.
The great thing about Blood Simple, none of us had anything to lose. So we were able to totally take chances. There's a shot of Fran McDormand looking down at these fish. It's a very strange transition. Most directors are very much afraid to use the camera as a device in telling the story.
It earned rave reviews, but only performed so-so at the box office. Despite audience indifference, however, it would establish the brothers as major talents and kick off their now legendary Hollywood careers. James Cameron decided to follow up his
Damn, another one that's coming to mind. Yes!
1982 directorial debut, Piranha 2: The Spawning, with a horror movie called The Terminator, released October 26th.
Look, it may take a while. Want to wait? There's a bench over there.
I'll be back.
It starred Michael Biehn as a soldier from the future who has to save a waitress, played by Linda Hamilton,
Come with me if you want to live.
from an unstoppable robot, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. The movie initially drew mixed reviews, but it was a huge box office success, spawning 5 sequels and a TV series. By 2019, the Terminator franchise was in a state of disarray. The first 3 films were massive hits, but 2009's Terminator Salvation and 2015's Terminator Genesis left audiences cold. And don't even get us started on how confusing the mythology had become. Terminator Dark Fate, released on October 23, 2019, was meant to fix all that. But despite mostly positive reviews, audiences largely ignored the film, which ultimately lost over $100 million for its backers.
The kids of Elm
Here we
Street
go!
don't know it yet, but something is coming to get them.
Supers come for you.
Released on November 9th, the Wes Craven-directed horror masterpiece, A Nightmare on Elm Street, told the unsettling tale of a group of teenagers.
And James, I'm waiting for the reboot, count of that, please. I'm begging you.
Teenagers being killed in their dreams by the ghost of a dead child murderer named Freddy Krueger.
Hey, Nancy, no running in the hallway.
The movie, which included the film debut of Johnny Depp, was embraced by critics and audiences alike and became a cultural phenomenon, spawning 8 sequels, as well as turning Robert Englund's Freddy into an unlikely icon. The Criterion Collection is a home video distributor famous for issuing prestige editions of culturally important films, and they've been at it since releasing a Laserdisc edition of Orson Welles' masterpiece, Citizen Kane, on December 1st, 1984.
Thanks to a Los Angeles-based company called Criterion, King Kong of the 30s has found his way onto Laserdisc of the 80s.
There is no deterioration.
That's pretty
no matter
awesome.
how many times you use it, and the image remains as good as it was the day you bought it.
The company would continue to issue films in that format until 1999. In 1998, they issued their first DVD, which was Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai. Due to the high-def format wars, however, their first Blu-ray, Wong Kar-wai's Chungking Express, wouldn't drop until 2008. And on December 5th, the heat was on when Beverly Hills Cop dropped in theaters. The film starred Eddie Murphy as a streetwise Detroit cop named Axel Foley,
I don't know what y'all think I am. Take me for some kind of fool. Hurry up, quicker!
who has to solve a murder in California's posh Beverly Hills. The hilarious Fish Out of Water tale, which also featured memorable appearances from Judge Reinhold and John Ashton, catapulted Murphy to mega stardom.
They're not just regular cops. They're super cops. And the only thing missing on these guys are capes.
It also narrowly edged out Ghostbusters, a film Murphy was originally set to appear in, to become the highest-grossing film.
I was wondering if made them more, so this one, and that is a fun fact that he almost was on Ghostbusters. That's crazy.
Film of 1984. Finally, on December 14th,
The original
audiences
Dune.
were treated to the bizarre ride that was David Lynch's Dune. The famous auteur turned down the chance to direct Return of the Jedi to adapt the Frank Herbert classic for the screen.
It's a challenge and it's a risk because people have their own interpretation, their own mental idea of the way things are going to be.
But the results weren't so hot. The movie was savaged by critics, ignored by audiences, and Lynch himself disowned the final product, even going as far as to take his name off some releases of the film. Luckily for Dune fans, director Denis Villeneuve would make a far better received adaptation in 2021. So what do you think? And what was your fondest movie memory of 19...
Man, just remind me how great a year 84 was. I should know year she was born. Other than that, though, definitely some fond memories of stuff that I became is a fan of. What I became a fan of early as a kid, as a baby or a toddler, even as later as a kid, then later made later as an adult, teen and adult. So other than that, if you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. You know, soon as gonna be next is from some random guy, 84 songs of 84. Anyway, it's your boy T-Bear signing off. One love.